So there's this small city in China. It's called Xiling, a rural village that's located in the arms of Shanxi province. It is kind of very deserted area, not very developed at all, the lowest tier city in China. So it's a very, very poor place. So in this village, it has these two girls who are around 14 years old. One is called Mei, one is called Tinting. Both of them are good friends. They hang out together a lot. And their family know each other. They're also neighbors. Now, but this year, Tinting's parents transferred Tinting into this boarding school in town. One reason is to make her focus only in school, that nothing can distract her by living in the school. Another thing is it'll be easier for the parents, right, to take care of her. Now, Tinting is a straight-A student. She doesn't cause a lot of troubles, and parents are really proud of her. Now, every Sunday, she gets to come home for one day to hang out with her friends and to spending time with her family. And you will still see her hang out with Mei a lot. Su Mei, which is Mei's mother, now she is a wet market vendor. And sometimes, Tinting's mom will come visit at her wet market slot and to buy some vegetables from her. To their acquaintances, they don't know each other a lot, the parents, but, they know that their kids hang out together. Now, Su Mei worked hard, but she's always short on money. She's not very good at managing her expenses, and the job selling vegetables in the wet market doesn't really make her enough income. So she's been trying to find a way to make more money for her family. Now in this village, people still following this old tradition called ghost marriage, like marrying a girl to a boy who had just died to keep him company. Now this practice can be traced back into the emperor times in China, where if the emperor dies, his servants and his wives will be buried alive with him, even though he's dead. This was to believe to help them serve him in his afterlife. Now later, this tradition was changed into a ghost marriage, working for regular people. Now, if a man died before he could get married, his family will try to find a deceased girl as well to bury with him to keep his company. They would have a special ceremony together and then they will be buried together. Now this was to be done to believe that both of them will not be alone after they die and find happiness even after their death. Today, this tradition is very rare, but still in part of the China, people still do that. They believe that it respects the dead and keep the family's honor. It's a way to remember the old beliefs, but also keep their past relatives happy and taken care of in the afterlife. Now, one day, Su Mei heard a strange job that could make her a lot of money, the amount of money that she would make in a year. She learned that some people would pay well for a ghost marriage. They wanted to find a bride for their son who passed away. Now, to Su Mei, this is her chance to get rich quick. No more counting coins or patching old clothes. This is her ticket to a life of ease. Now, she started to look for somebody who needs a bride. Very soon, she found one. Their son had died in a car accident and was looking for a girl who's similar his age to be his bride. And they're searching for a young girl to marry him in the spirit world. Now, Su Mei was thrilled when she heard. Her heart raced as she imagined her life could be that money can buy. So she started looking for the perfect girl that can match and make the quick money. But soon she found out luck is not on her side because it's very rare that somebody had died. Also, that person is very young, so she didn't find anybody. There's no family who has lost their girl recently, not to even mention at the right age. As days slipped by, her anxiety grew. She cannot just let this opportunity go. She had imagined so many things that she wanted to do when she make that money. So it's almost like she's so close to her dream. But then her gaze followed her daughter Mei's playful laughter, watching as she skipped alongside her friend Tinting. Then, like a strike of lightning, something hit her. Tinting, with her youth and her innocence, with the right age, was the perfect match for the ghost marriage. So Su Mei's plan took root, dark and twisted. She started planning. She went to different shops to buy multiple sleeping pills, told them that she has trouble sleeping, and then crushed the sleeping pills together and put around 16 sleeping pills, mixed it into a soft drink. Now the next day, Su Mei drove all the way to Tinting's school. She walked into the school, and her heart was drum beating her chest. And there stood Tinting, chatting with her friend, trying to collect some water. And she said, "Tinting, come with me. Your dad is in the hospital, you have to come." Now, Tinting, without a doubt, was shocked, first of all, when she heard the news. She was worried about her dad. And, Su Mei was her neighbor and her friend's mother. So she trusted her. But without a doubt, she told her friend, hey, please tell teacher that I'm leaving for my father. He's in the hospital. Right away, she left with Su Mei. As they get in the car on the way, Tinting cannot stop asking Su Mei what happened. How is his dad? Is his dad okay? And how severe is he in the hospital? But Su Mei did not know how to answer because she made all that up. So on the way, she gave Tinting the soft drink that she prepared and she said, we're soon gonna be there and you'll find out. Tinting, without a doubt, opened the soft drink and chuggled, and very soon she started to fall asleep. Now, Su Mei thought that the sleeping pills isn't enough to take Tinting's life. But as she almost arrived, Su Mei then called the family who needs the bride, and she told them that her daughter was in the accident and is a perfect candidate for them, and she could give her her daughter if they offer her a really good price. Now, the family was thrilled because it's really hard to find somebody who is also passed away with the same age of their son. So they're really happy. So they said, no problem, we'll pay you 20,000. So right away, Su Mei drove all the way to their place. But before she arrived, she found out that Tinting was still breathing. Car neared the destination in the dim light. Su Mei watched Tinting, who was in deep sleep. Su Mei's heart pounded in her chest, a mix of fear and greed swirling inside of her. She knew what she had to do, even though it was a terrible thing. And Tinting's quiet breath is the only sound in the car. Su Mei reached for the rope that she usually used for tying up the vegetables. Her hands shook a little, but she knew that there's no turning back. With every tight loop of the rope, Su Mei told herself that this was the only way. Outside of the car, everything is so quiet except for the barking of the dog. The night was dark, and only a few stars watched from the above. Inside the car, the air felt heavy. When Su Mei finally arrived at the client's house, the family was waiting, eager for their bride to arrive. They took Tinting gently, without knowing the sad truth. They dressed her in the beautiful red dress, the traditional color for the weddings. But this wedding is different. It's not for a living person, but it's for a spirit. But the family was happy though. They thought their son is now going to have a company in the other side of the world. And they had no idea the terrible things that Su Mei had done. Su Mei left the house quickly with the huge sum of the money in her arms, 20,000 yuan. That's around $3,000. Su Mei was extremely happy. She didn't expect it was this easy to make that money, she thought. So the same night, the teacher was checking the dorm, seeing Tinting's bed was empty. They thought, Tinting was in the hospital with her father because the father was in the accident. So they didn't worry and think too much of it. But days passed and it was strange that Tinting didn't come back. By Saturday night, the day that Tinting usually comes home, Tinting's parents started to worry because usually Tinting's home by now already, but Tinting's still not home, so they called school, feeling something wasn't right. So suddenly everyone realized that something was wrong. Tinting's dad hasn't been in any accident, and Tinting hasn't been home. So where's Tinting then? Her parents called the police right away and the police told them to come by the next day. So the next morning, Tinting's parents rushed to the police. They were scared and they told the police everything. The police went to the school with them to find out what happened. And one of Tinting's friends said she saw Tinting leaving the school with a chubby aunt. Now when she said chubby aunt, Tinting's parents knew right away it was Su Mei from the next door. Tinting always hang out at her house with her daughters. They always play together. But why would Tinting go away with her? They're very confused. It didn't make any sense. Now, when police first asking Su Mei, she didn't say anything. She was making a lot of excuses and telling them she didn't know anything. But they didn't believe her, so they brought the girl from Tinting's class and she pointed the finger at Su Mei, saying that is the woman that took Tinting on that day. Su Mei was trapped. Finally, she admitted what she had done. The police, guided by Su Mei, brought to the family who bought Tinting for the girl's marriage. The family didn't know what police is talking about. They had no idea. Eventually, they let them dig up the grave. When they opened the coffin, they saw Tinting laying there with a very rotten corpse next to her. Tinting already passed away. In the end, everyone was shocked in the village. Nobody could believe that things like this could happen, and Tinting's parents were heartbroken. And the news soon hit nation and shocked everybody. Su Mei then was sentenced to death.